Today I'm going to compare the most popular AI tools for developers, ChatGPT 01 and Claude 3.5. I'll give them 3 different tasks to see which one performs better. For the first round, I'll test them on some everyday tasks, typically with Google, or ask about on Stack Overflow. What could be more common than string concatenation? Let's ask them. How do you concatenate strings in Go? Now let's replace our results to the code editor and compare it there. Both of them provide different approaches, starting from using plus operator and ending with using strings builder. In Go, string is a read-only type, means modifying even one character, resulting in creating a new string instead of altering the existing one. Strings builder and bytes buffer use byte slices to keep string in memory. This approach allows you to modify each character independently and edit the whole string more efficiently. Bytes buffer is considered as a legacy approach and wasn't provided by Claude. The biggest difference I noticed is their reasoning. ChatGPT explained more thoroughly why using plus isn't an efficient way to concatenate strings in Golang, while Claude provided more briefly description. Let's now use benchmarks to determine which approach is more efficient. Since Claude and GPT provided almost identical code, we'll benchmarking the approaches to define which one is the most efficient. I created a main.go file and filled it with the benchmarks. Now let's run it. As you can see, the winner here is strings builder, while strings join uses less memory. On the other hand, formats printf and the plus operator are the clear losers on this test. However, it doesn't mean you can't use them in your code. For concatenating small numbers of string, especially outside of the loop, they optimized to be efficient. For example, when concatenating first and last name, you won't see any significant improvements in application by switching to strings builder. From my perspective, the winner in round 1 is ChatGPT for its detailed explanation. Next, let's test type conversion. So how can I convert an int to a string? Now let's move our results to the editor to make it easier to compare. Once again, our competitors provided the same code, but the reasoning is still better in ChatGPT. It's more thoughtful and well structured. But what is the most efficient way to cast int type into a string in Golang? Let's use benchmark again. So here is our main test Go, and we are starting it. As you can see, formats printf is not an efficient way for typecasting, but it's still a useful tool for complex formatting. And finally, I'd like to get a function to generate a random string. Let's ask our AI rivals to create such function. Let's create function to generate a random string. The first thing I noticed, Claude uses the redundant rand seed method that is not required. Starting from Go 1.20, the math rand package automatically uses a timestamp as the seed if no seed is explicitly set before the application starts. Both implementations use different approaches. I'll explain them later. But first, let's determine which one is faster. So here is the benchmark. For the GPT model, it takes 6975 nanoseconds per operation, and for Claude it takes 11181 nanoseconds per operation, which is much lower memory usage. The winner in terms of efficiency is Claude. However, it's important to note that math-rand method is significantly less secure. You must understand when and where it's appropriate to use it. I wouldn't recommend to use this method to generate sensitive data like private keys. In fact, I can show you how to retrieve blockchain private keys from the wallets that was generated by math-random method. If you're interested, write that into comments. Both AI models correctly suggest using cryptorand for sensitive identifiers. Users should be careful when implementing these methods in their applications. In terms of security recommendations, the results are equal, so I would call it a tie. In the next round, I'll challenge the competitors with the problem from the development contest to see how they handle something more complex. A spider web is defined by rings number from 0 to 4 and the radials labeled clockwise from the top as A to H. Create a function that takes the coordinates of spider and fly and returns to the shortest path for the spider to get to the fly. It's worth noting that the shortest path should be calculated geometrically, not by counting the number of points that path goes through. We could arrange that angle between every pair of radials is the same, 45 degrees. Distance between every pair of rings is always the same, let's say it's x. In the above picture, spider coordinates are h3 and fly coordinates are e2. The spider will follow the shortest path h3, h2, h1, a0, e1, e2. The center of the web will always be a0. So, opening the code into editor. First, ChatGPT is more useful as it provides the main function. I have to create a main function for Claude, and it seems like it only returns the distance. GPT's code looks more complex. Both have defined parameters as constants mapped radial to index and introduced nodes. Let's check how they work. First up is Claude. And yes, there is no information about the path, even though it was required in description. This applies to both ChatGPT and Claude. Without any further testing, the winner is ChatGPT. Next, we'll ask them to work on some high-level task. So, create an API that retrieves the latest currency trade from a decentralized exchange based on the specified currency. Usually, I got such tasks from my customers. So, moving to the editor and here. So, ChatGPT is being lazy here, just mocking the request with dummy data. Nice try, GPT. But my customers would sue me if I provided them such application. Claude code looks more comprehensive, but still it's not a trade, it's market data. Yet even the market data is filled with dummy values. The code wouldn't work for either of them, and it's nowhere near ready for production. You couldn't even use a part of it in a real application. My suggestion is just ask more specific questions. This is yet another piece of evidence that AI wouldn't replace developers, at least at current versions. To summarize, the overall winner today is ChatGPT. Even while making this video, I felt a significant difference in the quality of work. Sorry, Claude. maybe next time. Thanks for watching. Press like and subscribe, write your comments, and stay in tech.